Hi, this is Danny Doyle. I'm joined once again by Jacob, and welcome to Chapter 17-2, Chapter 17 Stage 2, Part 2, I don't know what to call it, of my Fire Emblem Path of Radiance 0% Growths run. Jacob,
I would think
this
you would
is...
know what to call it.
Go ahead.
I would think you would know what to call it since you love Radiant Dawn and it has the whole part 2, 1, 1E.
I still don't know what to call half of the Radiant Dawn chapters, like Chapter 162 or whatever the fuck, like the way that they did this, I don't know. I love Radiant Dawn, my favorite Fire Emblem game. It goes back and forth between that and Thracia. I love them for similar reasons, but the chapter titles are confusing. But yeah, here's the reinforcement stuff that Jacob was talking about. I can pick two people. They don't show up right away. They will show up on, like, turn 3, I believe. I'm picking Mordecai and Volk. Mordecai because reinforcements... Oh, I should probably, actually... So I pick Volk, go back to the menu, and then pick Mordecai, which will put him in reinforcement 2 slot. Which that starting position is... that should also work for him. I'm picking Volk as opposed to a combat unit because this isn't actually a combat map. I just need to get someone to land on this tile to clear it, which usually you send like a Boots flyer with the full guard because of the steel bow. They have a bunch of guys to like discourage you from doing that, but if you have a strong Jill or Marcia or both, like you can probably 1 to 2 turn this with like proper smiting and stuff. But I want this physics staff, which is why I'm picking Volk.
I think my favorite part about the Boots Marcia or Boots Jill trick is there are forest tiles over on the right. It's all like a bunch of thickets that you can't walk through right
and
down
swamps.
below. Or, I mean, further right. There's
like
all
here?
those tree spaces you can't step on, but there's a few plains tiles mixed in with them. And you can fly onto those plains tiles if you want to completely avoid combat as much as possible.
I didn't know that was the case in this chapter. I knew that that was the case in chapter 4 for a couple of for an area.
Yeah, if Marcia's in the right place, she can reach some of those plains tiles and she can just chill over there as long as you need her to. I think she has to step out in enemy range for at least 1 turn, but it keeps her from getting clogged up by the other enemies.
Interesting. That's actually an argument for potentially giving the boots to Jill. I briefly mentioned this, but I didn't finish talking about it because I got distracted because ADHD brain. But I was debating for a while whether to give the boots to Jill or Tanith, because Jill, you get them a couple of chapters earlier, and they could be, in particular for chapter 17, very useful to have a flyer with, what is it, 11 move? Yeah, 11 move. But I decided on Tanith. I'm also saving a robe for her for the same reason that her combat is just going to be much, much better than Jill's, and she joins in the next chapter. Well, the next proper chapter. There's, 17.2, 17.3, 17.4, but she joins in 18. And she's going to be probably my carry for the rest of the game, between her and Har and a couple of other people. So giving her the boots is... It only costs me, like, 2 chapters worth of boots. I wasn't going to give them to Jill in the desert. Like, I could have done that, but it wouldn't really help me that much because I got them late enough that just having the extra movement for, like, the rescue chain didn't matter. And then in Oliver's Manor, like, having her rush ahead a little bit would have been helpful, but I had no trouble getting to the treasure room in time. Here is the only map where it really would have made a difference, and I decided that having them on a unit who I'm probably not going to ever bench matters more than having them on a unit for 1 extra chapter. In a vanilla playthrough, always use your boots on either Jill or Marcia. Like, even if they are not as strong as Tanith initially, like, growths are better, they have more availability. It's just, like, the right thing to do. But unfortunately, as 0% growths, Jill got denied her boots. I usually give them to Marcia, actually, even though I like Jill better, because I do think that she's probably a higher level by this point, unless you gave her, like, no BXP. I know Jacob always gives them to Marcia, because he loves her.
I mean, that's mostly just early Pegasus Knights in general. That's how I feel about all my early Pegasus Knights.
Including
Except for,
Fiora?
except for Florina.
Oh,
I don't really like
Florina.
Florina.
I
I
always
don't
get
really
the
like
flower
Florina.
girls mixed up with each other. I
Florina
might try
starts off.
your little like plane strat.
She might not have enough move. If you shove her, I don't remember if you have to shove. You might have to smite her because mine usually has 2 more move than yours does. But I know there's one further to the right that she can reach. But I guess you don't have a smite person right now.
Yeah, and she's not in a great deployment slot for it either.
Yeah, I want to say there's one 2 or 3 more spots to the right that she could usually reach. She has boots in the right place. But I love all of the early game Pegasus Knights except for Florina. She starts off just so underwhelmingly bad, especially
Remind me, is
combat
it
wise.
Florina and then Fiora and then Farina is the order they join in?
Yes,
I
youngest to oldest.
I get their names mixed up because FE7 is probably the game I'm the least familiar with. I generally dislike it as I just don't think it's a very fun game.
Oh, here come the angry comment.
This. I mean, like, if you like it, like, good on you. Like, I'm not gonna yuck anyone else's yum. I don't enjoy it. It's the only game I've successfully 0% growth. I did Elliewood hard, and eventually I'm gonna do Hector hard, but I don't know. I think it's very, very fun, 0% growths. I think it feels as though it's designed around that. I know obviously it isn't actually, but you get so many like late game pre-promotes like Harkin, and even just like Marcus is really good even without growths.
Marcus is really good. You get Hawkeye. Isadora helps a little bit whenever she joins.
Pent is really good.
Pent carries you for the whole game. You get Vida near the end of the game.
I actually did not care for Isadora. I think I fielded her like maybe once in like Victory or Death or something. I expected her to be really good because I was like, a paladin slightly worse than Marcus, yes please, but deployment slots even on Hollywood hard are pretty tight, and I would much rather field a like 5 physic range Priscilla than I would Isadora. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Like, even on route maps where like having the extra combat is probably at its best. Short spear. Okay, I don't like that. Let's see if you can kill him. With the aim assist? You can't. Okay. Iron. There we go.
Look at Stefan go.
I know. I'm so happy to have this guy. Maybe we should talk about the game we're playing as opposed to the game that I don't like.
I mean, these enemies look surprisingly weak right now.
Yeah, I think it's because they're the unpromoted ones clumped in with, like, these are supposed to be the team leaders or whatnot.
Oh, it's kind of that same thing FE7 late game does, where they'll put one paladin with a group of 5 cavaliers that get one-rounded. Go,
Yeah,
Div
do
Don!
I have left just like clear a few of these guys so that I don't get I'm probably gonna take a long time on this map. I usually, just in order to get the physics staff, accidentally end up routing or almost routing it. These wyverns are the sort of like the real, I mean, the paladins are gonna deal a lot of damage, but the wyverns are very mobile is what makes them kind of a problem.
I usually steal the staff from the priest right in front of you there. I usually end up stealing his, but I don't think I ever take long enough to get the physics staff, because by this point I usually have a promoted miss. So I don't really need the physics staff because she has such high move. And if I do need a physics staff, it's for someone who's all the way on the other side of the map, like Marcia.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I totally understand why you would want one here, of all places, because having your healer anywhere close to an enemy is going to be awful.
I think it's worthwhile even outside of a 0% growth context. Yeah, we can go over here.
Okay, there it is. That's where I'm usually able to put her turn 1.
Well, and you could put her here too.
That's true.
If you had a better, if I had like one of the left or the rightmost, I can
Yeah,
tell
if
my
she's
directions.
in one of the rightmost ones and the boot, I think she might be able to get there without a shove, but it might take a shove from a Lagoon. I usually have left deployed by this point, so I think, or Mordecai as well, so I think you might have to shove her once or twice to get her there, but
I mean, in a vanilla playthrough, you usually have, especially by part 3 and 4, like more deployment slots than units you want to use. So like deploying Leth and Mordecai, or like Mordecai for shoving and smiting, or like an extra healer who you haven't trained just to have the healing. My mend staff, no. Mend is like 20 plus magic.
I'll charge double the standard rate.
I do love the little like the reinforcement barks that they give.
Oh no, don't have him pick any locks in this chapter.
How do you do with the light? Oh, nice! Yeah, I forged Stefan a lightsaber because he is a sword user from the desert. So, I don't know, it felt appropriate. Plus, Jacob made the like lame-ass Star Wars joke that everyone makes.
I'm very original, guys. Trust me.
Can Ike kill with the Regal Sword? It's effective damage. No!
No.
Oh, no. Womp
Wait,
womp.
how much might does the Regal Sword have again?
Setting up a kill for Ike? While there's a bunch of, like, people who I can't wall off because of bows? Sure, let's do... Thanks, Ike. Appreciate that unnecessary crit. And I can't smite him, so I'd have to, like, rescue him. Like, that was the dumbest thing in the world, but it was funny.
It's fun to watch.
No, and plus I can probably kill the bow guy. The paladin's already dead. I'm not too scared. Ike gets one-rounded by everything, so I don't even have to check if they one-round him. Yeah, kill the bow guy. Not kill the bow guy. Come on, Kieran. I wasted that Master Seal on you for this.
Oh, too slow for a steel axe.
With the iron axe, not yeah. We'll just use the thwacker.
You're throwing me off with the Jiller axe.
That is my intention.
I keep seeing Killer Axe in your inventory, and I'm going, why aren't you using the Killer Axe to one-shot him, or potentially one-shot?
I do have the Killer Axe. I have it on my axe user, Mordecai, and he's building his support with Ileana.
Whoa, you deployed 3 people as reinforcements?
Yeah, it's a little trick. It's a little trick I use called don't recruit terrible mage.
Then why'd you get Tormod? I mean,
I hate you.
I'm just messing with you. I think Tormod's pretty cool, especially in Radiant Dawn.
I want to lure this guy. Yeah, I can't wait until you get to part 4 so you can use him again.
Oh yes, Tormod is such a cool portrait. I love using Tormod in part 1, and I'm so happy I put his inventory on Raphael for whenever he left.
At least Raphael comes back earlier than Tormod. Do I even have anyone to heal? No, so I can just get some fire or some thunder chip in.
Accurate chip damage.
Well, I guess I'll go with fire, even though I care about the thunder rank. I don't care about the fire rank, but like, what are you gonna do? I don't think it's worth the risk of missing and then dying and resetting.
Bad
Marcia, Marcia. Can you can't do anything. You're worthless.
Okay, yeah. I think if she I think if she has a little bit more move, there's another plains tile she can reach over there.
I'm not sure that there is. I see one near the archer, but that doesn't feel safe.
No, it's definitely not safe. I think I usually have the full guard on mine at this point, so she just javelins the archer.
Well, you usually also have some level ups on her.
Yeah, she usually has more than base stats plus promo.
She's lucky she has the fucking promo.
There he goes. Oh no, a javelin. And my Marcia usually has a bunch of Draco Shields and Angelic Robes, so that might also be skewing my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the unit who you dump a bunch of stat boosters into is going to be incredible. That's why my Jill is usually pretty good.
Oh no, a Wyvern.
I don't want to lure the Silverlance guy yet. Okay, good, I don't have to. Well, I also don't want to knock him down to physic range because, while it wouldn't be the end of the world, like, I'd like to preserve my physic uses. I'm going to need them closer to the end game.
It's like trying to play Shadow Dragon DS, and you're trying to not leave people at low HP so the guys don't use their physic and fortifies.
Especially because they're, like, infinite range.
Yes. The sound of a fortify staff going on in Shadow Dragon DS has been etched into my brain.
I don't think it's as big a deal in Shadow Dragon DS, although I haven't played the harder difficulties of that one. But in FE12, like, oh my god, oh, nice. FE12, like, preserving physics staffs feels like a very big deal just because of, like, even though healing is pretty bad in those games. Oh yeah, I don't have the Iron Axe. I have this.
Oh, yes! Come on, come on, come on, come on. Magic for Sonic Sword. I think your ROM is messed up. Keep getting no stats on Ike. I've heard Ike is really, really good, though.
So
are you going to rescue him over that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's Priest 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Priest 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll do that.
I'm waiting for that priest to just run away this turn and just run further away from Volk.
I mean, he's probably going to. This just, like, reduces the tedium. And Leth has got nothing left to do for the rest of this chapter because she's gonna untransform before she can engage those guys, who I don't really want her to engage anyway. She has fallen off, as it were.
She has nothing left to do. I'll just pretend that you laughed. It'll make me feel better.
I don't know. I don't understand the joke.
Well, you said there's nothing left for her to do, so I said there's nothing left for her to do.
Yeah. And now I wish I could go back to when I didn't understand the joke.
I don't like explaining jokes, but I feel like this was funnier because now you have to say, no, now I understand it. Yeah, you should totally send Volk after that.
I mean, I'm going to, just not this turn. I guess I could, like, send Leth up to support Jill. Like, in 17 turns she'll get there. There we go.
Wyvern
Double?
duel.
There we go.
Wow.
Saving physics staff uses. I think that Wyvern was weighed down by, like, a Steel Lance or something. And so now the group AI, and that means everybody's favorite Silver Lance Paladin. Ooh, I might be able to, like, using shove strats, get the physics staff. Okay, I can get it now and just, like, rescue him away with someone. How much do you deal? It's pretty sketch.
I mean, if you can get some of the cabs out of the way, I'm sure Stefan could just deal with them. He might take a big counter, but...
He might need the lightsaber to do it. And then I can dedicate Kieran and Titania or Jill and Titania to rescuing out Volk. Probably Jill and Titania would be the way to do it. There we go. I like that.
I was going to get Astra just to make you... Aww.
No. Stefan's a good boy. He didn't Astra with his lightsaber. I should have turned on animations for that. I gave him, like, a blue lightsaber and everything. I'm pretty proud of that.
You totally should have turned on it.
I mean, of course you would say that.
I don't even
Steel.
like Path of Radiance animations. I just like watching you get frustrated whenever you leave them on.
When we were doing our Path of Radiance draft, I was playing on GameCube, so I didn't have access to the speed up button, and boop. I had to reset prologue a couple of times because I fucked up the like save a vulnerary strat. I mean, I didn't have to, like, it's not that important, but I wanted to. And every time I did, I would always forget to turn off animations the first time around. It was the most frustrating thing in the world.
Just watching Boyd get hit by a training sword over and over and over again. Have you seen the dialogue for If You Let Boyd Win?
Yeah, it's like the most embarrassing game over ever. It's just like, wow, Ike, you suck so much more than I thought you did. Or something
Boyd
along
is like,
those
wait a
lines.
second, how did I win? And Grail's like, oh, never mind, you're actually bad, Ike. Go back to the bench.
I am concerned for Devdon's safety, so I'll give him Oscar. The Earth support should give him extra Void, right?
Oh, that's totally how it works.
Which do you think is more tired of a joke? You complaining about bad level ups or asking for good level ups, or me making like, ah ha ha, pair up, ah ha ha, I named these forges after dead units jokes? Because I feel like they're both equally just like old and terrible.
I think the bad level ups won more because I'm pretty sure everyone makes the bad level ups joke in a 0% growth.
I mean, everyone makes it at least once, but that's because it's
That's
a...
not gonna stop me. It's not gonna stop me from making more.
So
Nice
yeah, that's
dodge.
the other convenient thing, or the inconvenient thing about this chapter, and the reason that I bought some like hand axes and iron axes in preps, just to leave them in supply. You don't have access to like resupply and shop in between the parts, but you
Oh, that's
can load
true.
up like in a vanilla run when you get to the point where you're like, well, I have reinforcements I don't care about. Do I care about this poleaxe? Like, I'm sending something back to the convoy, and I think it's gonna be the poleaxe.
Yeah, you can always deploy it on someone if you do.
Yeah, that's what I was getting around to. Is when you get to the point where you're like, well, I'll deploy Mordecai just for smite shenanigans. You can load up his inventory with items he's not gonna use, or you can be like, hey, I'll deploy Rolf and just give him a bunch of swords for Ike, or whoever you're, you know, trying to do sword things with.
Oh, well, that's easy. Just promote Rolf into a ranger so he can use swords and bows on a horse, right?
I don't even think that would fix Rolf in this game. He's not terrible in
Oh,
Radiant
no.
Dawn. I mean, he's outclassed by Shannon, and there's no reason to deploy 2 archers in almost every map. Shove. Boop. There we go.
And even in a vacuum, he's just...
He's
and
just
you don't
what?
even get something, you don't even get something. This isn't like Rakasis or Leaf where you train this unit that's really hard to train, and they promote into the best unit in the game. Like you train Rolf, you get a sniper.
Wait, when you promote Leaf, he turns into Horsetti? That's a really
Okay,
weird
great point.
promotion path. It's a really weird promotion path.
Forsetti can't be on a horse, right? Forsetti comes on that priest guy in chapter 9.
What priest guy in chapter 9? I just kill Hannibal.
That guy who gives you the warp staff in Thracia.
Yeah, it's so weird that you have to murder him in FE4 and then he thanks you by giving you the most powerful staff in the game. Get some more axe rank. I would like killer axes on Jill. Not for any like particular planned out reason, just because killer axes are good.
I used to think the killer weapons were the absolute best weapons in the game because, oh, you get extra crit chance or whatever. And then I realized, wait a second, or I can use a silver weapon and always do a lot of damage.
I actually really like what they did with the killer weapons in Fates, where they have like 4x crit instead of 3x crit damage.
Yes. But they're as strong as iron weapons, whereas in most of these games, killer weapons are as strong as a steel weapon.
If not better. Sometimes they're like
So I
steel
like,
weapons with better hit. Like that's what FE 6 and 7 has, right?
yeah, FE, the GBA emblems, all the killer weapons have pretty much the same might as a steel weapon, and they're lighter, so it makes them so good. Just not even as a killer weapon, but just as a weapon to use. But I
It's
want to
the
say the
same way
Fates ones
with
also lower.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the Fates ones also lower your avoid by a whole bunch. Killing edge. I misspelled edge.
You're not an edge lord. You don't know how to spell edge.
No, it's the killing edge. Killing.
Probably.
Yeah,
prefer
it
that.
gives you -10 avoid in Fates. So do with that as you will.
I kind of like how there's usually downsides to better weapons in Fates. I mean, I get that they remove durability, and that's like a little bit controversial. I don't know. I like it. I like the way that Fates did weapons. I don't think it works for every game, but I think it works really well for Fates. Because I think the most annoying thing in the world is having to buy a bunch of iron weapons.
Yeah.
But that was 17-2. We have arrived. That archer gets to survive. I spared him and the priests. Well, one of the priests. I think I killed the other one with the shield for axe rank.
Titania is the only character in Fire Emblem that has the good idea of, wait a second, maybe we should be the ones using reinforcements.
Tanith and Douglas
Ooh,
in Douglas uses them in Project Ember, which is pretty cool. I think I keep getting distracted mentioning things, but I think it would be cool if I started on this in the desert chapter. I think it'd be cool if, much like in Project Ember, where if you spare Douglas's troops, his reinforcements get stronger. If you were to spare Mariam's troops, he would have like reinforcements that are stronger or something. I don't know.
That'd be a pretty neat idea.
It would at least get rid of the problem where like, what's the point of the bonus experience when they just give you more experience? Like, that would give you a reason to spare them. Because reinforcements are fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's it for 17-2. See y'all next time.
Marcia was really helpful.
I know.